Good evening, everybody who's tuning in. Tonight, I'm joined by yet another member of your undefeated 2022 Tri-City Rush squad. This man goes by Bemmy the Goat on Facebook, but his given name is Bemnet Morgan. Morgan has signed a contract for the 2023 season and has joined us tonight to let us know where, as well as talk about his amazing career he's had so far. Thank you for joining me tonight, and how are you doing tonight?
Man, I'm good, man. Thank you for having me. First of all, it's a blessing to be here. But yeah, man, my name is Bemnet Morgan. I'm from Springfield, Massachusetts. I just currently play with the Tri-City Rush. Play DB. And right now, I just signed with the Salina Liberty in the CIF right now. So, yeah, I'm definitely excited. Definitely. Coach O, I feel like, is a great coach to be a part of, honestly. A Hall of Fame coach, I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. And he played DB himself, so it's like I want to go there to learn, you know. So I'm just eager to learn right now. But in college, I played a small college ball out in Worcester, Massachusetts. It's about an hour away from where I'm from, out in Springfield. But definitely had a solid career there too. And right now, I'm just here to just take the talents at the highest point as I can right now, honestly.
Absolutely. Wayne Robinson's tuning in. He says, gang, gang, bro.
That's love, bro. It's love.
Definitely. So why don't we go ahead and recap for everybody who's just tuning in where you signed again?
The Salina Liberty out in the CIF.
Absolutely. So basically, you're going to be reunited with a bunch of your former teammates from the Tri-City Rush. We might as well start calling Salina Tri-City East. At this point, it seems like everybody's signing over there. But, I mean, to be fair, I mean, you want the best of the best that are available. And let's be honest, you can't go anywhere. I mean, any better than what the Rush did last season.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely. But I'm more than happy just to be with my brothers again, honestly. The chemistry alone is what's going to, I feel like, already set us, like, coming out the gate strong right there with the chemistry. You know, there's not a lot of people that's going to come in with that chemistry that we have, at least unless there's like a lot of returning players, let's say it that way, from other teams. But us all coming together in one team like that, I haven't even seen it like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's very intelligent from a team building perspective because, like you spoke about, that chemistry is innate between you guys. You've been together for a whole season, so you don't have to create that through training camp. You've already got it, and then when it comes time for the season, you know, it's just going to be like second nature for you to play with all these guys. You know that where they're going to be, how they react, all that sort of thing. That's very important when you're playing in the secondary like you do.
Most definitely. Communication is probably one of the biggest things in the secondary that you're going to need, honestly.
Absolutely. So you spoke on it real briefly. You're going to play for a former defensive back and an IFL Hall of Famer, head coach Haran O'Neal. How excited are you, and what do you look to gain from a legend like Coach O?
Honestly, I'm super excited. I can't be more excited than I really am right now. I'm like, it's like the dream come true. You know, all the hard work put in right now is just like it's starting to like just kick in right now, honestly. And honestly, like I said, for him, being coaching for him, I really just want to learn, honestly. Like I said, he's played DB himself, and like I just want to be a sponge so he can just let me know if I could play at the next level. He has the connections, he has all of that, and I believe already that I can play. But honestly, it's like it's not about just me. You got to play in front of certain people and on a certain platform and dominate there, you know? So if I do that there under him, I feel like there's no lacking right there. So
absolutely. Out of curiosity, do you feel like a contract offer from a man like Coach O, who's played the position, means a little bit more when it's coming to a man like yourself that plays in the secondary?
Honestly, yes, I do, because I feel like he probably sees a little bit more in me, and I just, like I said, I want to learn to the most. Like, there's nothing else that you can beat with having a coach like that, honestly.
Absolutely. I'm going to run through a couple comments real quick. Wayne Robinson says, just shared you from New York City. We appreciate that, Wayne. I appreciate that greatly. Coach Johnson tuning in. Congratulations, another JAS
Johnson.
product.
Yes, sir.
That's Scout Johnson, correct?
Yep, yeah, that's him.
Okay. Thanks for tuning in, Coach. We appreciate that. James, I'm not going to try and pronounce your last name. I apologize. He says howdy. Hassan tuning in. Thanks, Hassan. We appreciate you being here.
Yes, love.
And then Wayne, teamwork. And then Anya.
Oh, that's my sister, Yana.
Okay. He says,
Yeah.
This is incredible. Thank you for having Bemnet. Are you kidding me? The pleasure is all mine. I mean, if you watched how this guy played last season, I mean, he belongs at the next level. This is not, how do I want to say this? He's getting the opportunity he should have had in the first place. Let's put it that way. I mean, you watch him play, you watch the big plays that he is responsible for on an almost every game basis, and it's unreal. It's really unreal to watch. So I'm curious, have you ever been to Salina, Kansas prior to signing your contract?
Honestly, no. It all just happened so fast, honestly. After the championship, it was like, I want to say about 2 weeks after, Coach Johnson, Scout Johnson called me, and it was just like, yo, I got a team for you. And I was like, where? He's like, where? He was like, yeah, it's out in Kansas. He said, but this coach is really a coach that you really want to play for. And he started, bigging his name up. I looked him up. I looked up some film. I talked to him on the phone for like a good 45 minutes. And then after that, I just bought all the way in, honestly.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I mean, obviously there's going to be a connection there, but I'm very excited to see you and Kevin in his system. I mean, I want to see how he uses both of you guys, so I'm very excited to see that.
My guy, Kev, man, that's my guy.
Absolutely. I mean, you guys played together last season, so I mean, in my eyes, like we spoke about before, communication is key in the secondary. So you're bringing back, one of your main contributors last season in terms of, on your opposite side. So I think that's going to be a benefit to you and a benefit to him in turn.
Most definitely. A lot of times too during the season, we used to feed off each other. Honestly, we used to come in the game like, yo, who gonna get more picks? Or if he got to pick one game, it's like, all right, now I gotta get one. If I come in right now off the rip and I get a pick, he like, all right, I gotta get one now. It's just crazy. It's like we just fuel off each other.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So are you concerned at all going from Tri-City to Kansas in terms of like culture shock, how it might be out there?
Honestly, no. Only because I've already been through that before.
Okay.
My first time I actually went through a culture shock is when I left high school. I actually went to prep school before I went to college. And my prep school was like, it was like almost like a character build school, but at the same time, it was like, I was, like I said, I was doing it for the film and stuff like that. I mean, it definitely built you up as a person, as an individual. And that was probably one of the most toughest times to like adapt to, coming from like, Springfield and stuff like that. So other than that, at this point, traveling is kind of like a breeze to me. It's like I want to see new things.
I could see that. I could definitely see that. So with that being said, talk to me a little bit about your experiences traveling. I mean, before you played in New England, you played in Tri-City. Now you're headed to Salina. Where do you call home? I assume it's not any of those cities.
Oh, home? Yeah, Springfield, Massachusetts. Born and raised.
Exactly.
Definitely. Born and raised, Springfield, Massachusetts. 4-3 made.
With that being said, I mean, talk to me about all this traveling you have to do. I mean, is it somewhat a leap of faith for you to jump into a team hoping that you're going to the right position?
Oh, that honestly, that was probably one of the biggest concerns for anybody coming out from where I'm coming from. And I was just one of those, just take up that leap of faith, honestly. And that was probably one, I could say, one of the most struggles I had during the career, at least, because I was buying plane tickets, hotel rooms and stuff, and for trials and stuff like that, and sometimes getting passed on, you know what I mean? And I just kept going until I finally got my shot. But yeah, it was definitely devastating at times, but like I said, all in the end right now, even to this point now, it's definitely all worth it.
I can only imagine at this point. I mean, I can only imagine the level of excitement you have right now heading into 2023.
Yeah, man. Can't wait to ball.
Absolutely. Beginning your post-college career in 2019, you started out at the New England Cavalry. Talk to me about the differences between your experience with the Cavalry and the Rush.
I I would say it was just more of a learning development with the Cavalry. I had a lot of people from my area that I knew that I was already playing with since like youth and stuff like that, or high school, that went to college and stuff like that too, and they kind of put me on about it. So I went out there and I made my noise. Obviously, I ended up playing. We ended up had a big game against West Virginia Rough Riders. That was in 2019. That was actually one of the games that we only lost to Rough Riders that game by 4 points, I believe. It was 28-24. And they were averaging about 30 points at half, that season. And we gave them probably one of the most fights, and they was like, yo, we need to get in the league somewhere because y'all got all this talent and y'all playing in the developmental leagues, but y'all need to get into real leagues. So I was like, okay. But like I said, at 2019, that was that. And then I started going for the trials and stuff like that. But obviously 2020 hit with COVID and stuff like that, and I couldn't do nothing about that,
Exactly. I mean, my next question was actually going to be, talk to me about the hardships that you faced due to COVID coming right when it did. I mean, right when you were kicking off your career.
Oh, yeah, man. It definitely – COVID took away 2 years from me, I can say. It definitely – because right when things was getting the ball rolling in 2020, it was like everything shut down. Then when it was trying to get back up in 2021, it wasn't like everything all for sure. Like I said, I didn't know what trials exactly to go to, what team was going to fold or not. You know what I mean? So all that was like questions up in the air. So that was just, I guess, one of the most struggles right there too. So, and then time waiting is devastating too.
Absolutely. I mean, talk to me about how you spent the next 2 years. I mean, I know you weren't technically on a team, but I assume you were still working out, preparing as if you were going to be on a team.
Honestly, it was crazy because I linked up with one of the trainers that I have out here in Springfield. He actually has a brand called Elite Wide Receiver Academy. He's a wide receiver, my man Evan Graham. But yeah, he definitely just started to do some training stuff. He had some NFL regional combine and stuff like that he had went to, or a pro day he had a pro day and stuff like that. He had played at D2 college and stuff. But long story short, he tried to he just wanted to lock in on his own training and stuff like that. And we both was just on the same mindset, and we just clicked, and then we just started training, posting videos every morning, everything. Like I was there every morning as if like I had a season. I didn't even know where I was gonna go. And this was like for a year and a half straight. And a lot of people can vouch for me in my city, but they definitely seen a lot of the work. And then honestly, through that, he started to reel in more and more clientele, and people started to believe. And then once the Tri-City happened and stuff like that, things happened better for him as well too. So not to say that, not taking nothing away from him. Like he's his own guy. And he can bring in his own people just as well. But, I guess at that time, it was just like a proven factor. You know what I mean?
Definitely understand that. I mean, it always helps, I mean, in those situations to have proof of concept, so to speak.
Yeah, most definitely.
So do you believe you would be where you're at today if it wasn't without his help?
No. Him and let me say a lot of people. Let me shout out to my 2 DB coaches, Coach Walker, man. Coach Juice, if y'all know him from Springfield, Massachusetts, Coach Walker, man, he was the guy. DB coach pretty much taught me everything I know. And then another DB coach, my man Martin Manson, out here in Connecticut. Well, Connecticut's next door for me, but I definitely travel to Connecticut a lot, and I get some working with him a lot too. But those are my 2 people. And I can say my older brother, Gabriel, he definitely really was the one who really started me in football in general, and he plays corner too. So he definitely helped me out a lot too. And my high school coaches can't thank them enough. The people around me, the family, close friends. It's just everybody. It's not just one. It's everybody. It takes a village to really make it happen.
Speaking of village, I'm going to run through some more of these comments that you're rolling in for you. We got Wayne Robinson saying gang, gang, gang. Lanice.
That's my lady.
Gotcha. Jamal Brown. Great to see you grow, bro. Keep striving. 413, baby. Hassan says, show out on them boys. Congratulations, brother. Kind of funny to see that you will actually be facing Hassan this upcoming season. I mean, he signed with the Gillette Mustangs. So at some point, you'll probably be on the opposing side from him. So another one of those AWFC rivalries jumping to the CIF. I like it.
Most definitely.
Although you guys are obviously very friendly.
Yeah.
King Kohai.
King Kohai. Yeah, that's my older brother. Yeah, that's my older brother.
Coach Johnson, 2 of America's Most Wanted. I assume he's speaking about Kevin.
Yeah.
Congrats, my boy. Taj Hill.
My cousin.
James again. P.S. Whoop whoop.
Yeah.
And then Sedarius Rookard. The man Bams. That's awesome. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We appreciate that. If you haven't done so already, make sure to hit that like button. It helps other viewers see this. So everybody wants to hear this story because it's an amazing one for sure. So talk to me about your routine for training. I mean, how do you attack the off season when you're not necessarily in camp?
Definitely start off early. The first thing I always say is start off early in the morning. You know, if I got a job, obviously, like which I do now, I work 8:30 to 5, honestly. I work in a law firm in the accounting department. So I go work out at 6 o'clock in the morning, and then I go to work. And after that, and I might have another workout after that too, or I just go coaching like I'm doing now. But no matter what, when I wasn't working with that, I was just doing like construction work as an independent contractor. So that kind of gave me a little bit more time. At times when I'm finished with a project, I could just train all day, every day, or just, you know, just lock in. I do a lot of like speed and agility stuff and DB stuff, and definitely a lot of ball mechanics, ball drills. So.
Very nice. Well, with that being said, I feel like this is a good time to play some highlights. So here's your highlight video. It's muted, so we'll just go ahead and keep talking. In 2022, you get the opportunity to sign with the Rush. How did this chance come about after spending a couple of years away from the game?
Again, my man Scout Johnson, man. I've been with him since, and he hasn't steered me wrong. He hasn't. He's brought me to literally every place I've went to. He's steered me there. You know what I mean? And like I said, he's one of the biggest people I can say I had to thank, that I wouldn't even be in none of these platforms without him as well. So I have to thank him big time.
Definitely. So with the fact that we're watching your highlight video, one of the things that stood out to me when I watch your film is that it seems like even though you play defense, when you get the ball in your hands, you have an eye for the end zone. I mean, you're looking to score every time you touch the ball. I mean, talk to me about how you try to cultivate that mentality every time you touch the ball.
Honestly, I mean, you always got to put points on the board, honestly. And I was always big, or at least one of my coaches always telling me, is like, it ain't just what you do when you get the pick, it's what you do after it. So you got to put points up. You know, that's the difference from being like just a all-conference to all-American. You know what I mean? So you gotta look to score.
Definitely. Did you have any idea that the Rush would be as good as you guys ended up being when you first signed with the team?
No idea at all. Like, I don't even know how that can even happen like that so well. All of us meshed together on one team, and then we did what we did. We didn't just win; we dominated. You know what
exactly.
I mean? So,
it was crazy to see some of the scores afterward. I mean, we're talking, there was a couple games where you guys scored over 80 points and I think held the opponents under 20.
Yeah.
It was pretty crazy. But with all that being said, what's been the hardest moments of your career? And feel free to give multiple examples.
The hardest moments of my career. Oh, man. I can say one of the biggest moments is because I've been to multiple different colleges, and my first college after my prep school, let's just say I was in the wrong place at the wrong time, got caught up, and I ended up having to leave the school, and it mentally had me devastated for another 2 years. I feel like I wasted 2 years on top of the 2 years that I got taken away from COVID. But one of those 2 devastating years after that when I had to leave and I had to get my head right, and I finally went back into Worcester. That's when I finally finished up my school years at Worcester and my 3 years of eligibility. But yeah, I could say it was one of those times right there. It made me it shaped me up as a human, as an individual, as a man, and as a player. I went in very maturely, and I had to, carry myself differently.
Absolutely. So we talked off camera, and obviously you spoke about the fact that you have a very fresh new baby. How has that altered your outlook on your career and your decision making in terms of teams you sign with?
My little man right now is everything, and right now my biggest thing was like, it's either you're gonna give up and either regret that you probably could have kept going, or you're gonna keep going now and give him the examples to look back later on. And on top of that, at the games he can fly him out and things like that. But for the most part, I just feel like if I really want it bad enough and I'm hungry bad enough, I'll get to where I really want. And I feel like he's gonna give me that much more fuel just as well. I want to end up in the XFL by like next year. If it's possible, let's do it. You know what I mean? I'm hungry, and definitely for him. So at this point, there is no plan. There's no time to waste. No time to lack. I got a little man now, 9 months years old, young Messiah. So, you know what I mean? It's my little king. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, most definitely, he's definitely the motivator. There's nothing about that. It just made me go harder every day.
Definitely. I can definitely attest to that myself as well. Kids make you a better man, I feel. Or some people, it brings out the worst in them, but I definitely have seen firsthand from, I guess, afar, that has definitely brought out the best in you.
Most definitely.
So in 2022 with the Rush, obviously you were a very crucial part of the success of this team. Now, bear with me, stats are sometimes not completely accurate, but in 8 games, you caused 7 turnovers, 3 of them which you returned for touchdowns. Despite this, you were not named to the All AWFC team, and in fact, were named All Honorable Mention. Has this left a chip on your shoulder for 2023?
Most definitely. No hate, no shade to nobody else, but I don't feel like the numbers was definitely there with other people who got high over me. But kudos to them. But at the same time, like I said, I know what I deserve. I know, I was on a championship team. We wasn't letting them no points like that, at all. So, I mean, I guess it's hard to just put a whole roster of Rush players all down the line, so they got to share the wealth somehow, some way. But like I said, me, ain't no way I should have been honorable mention. Ain't no way. But at the end of the day, going forward in this season, I'm definitely going first team, hands down. Like, I'm hungry. I'm coming for it. I know how to come in camp. I know how to compete at the higher levels now because I've been around, been there. And me, I still also think about the times when I was burning plane tickets to go to trials and not getting picked up. I got a son now. It's go time. It's really go time.
Absolutely. So one of the things that stood out on your film as well was your ability on special teams, whether it was on kick coverage or field goal block units. It seems like you were always making plays, whether it was big tackles or blocked field goals for return for touchdowns. Talk to me about your experience playing on special teams. Is there any unit you can't play on?
No. Coach, my high school coach always installed that into us. And then in high school, I was always big on special teams just as well as offense defense. I played everywhere, honestly. You could put me anywhere on the field. I'll succeed. I can excel. But more than likely, let's say tackling down on the special teams coming down and kickoff and stuff like that. I also have a wrestling background, so that helps me more with tackling just as well too. And literally just being in the right place at the right time. I just feel like my coach always installed to really be around the ball, run to the ball, and great things happen when you run to the ball. So. You know what I mean? So that's just what's installed into me. Just be a baller by any means.
Absolutely. Talk to me about how you approach film study. I mean, when it's available to you, are you the type of person that just eats it up, watches it every day, or is it something that you feel doesn't necessarily need to be a full-time job?
Me personally, honestly, I am a film junkie. I will study film like there is no other. Like on my break time or downtime, anytime, I'm probably watching football. And that's just what it is. Like I just love the game so much. In college, I definitely it might not be a good thing, but I kind of was watching more film than I did homework at times. So, but you know what I mean? You just gotta love the game that much. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing else to it, really.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We got a couple more comments to run through. Uh, your girl tuning in. Yes, baby. Kevin says, my guy, he should have been on there with us. Agreed.
Yeah,
Sandra Harvey tuning in.
that's my auntie.
Team player, we got to get you back on a dirt bike, Bems. Oh my God, definitely a film junkie and always asking questions. All right, that makes sense. I mean, you got to learn in order to be the best, right?
Yeah, most definitely.
With that in mind, who are some of your favorite defensive backs to watch play?
Right now,
Currently, it past, whichever.
Pat, come on, everybody loves to watch Dion. Like this Dion, or you got Charles Wilson, like two of the best prime time, at least in my time. Cause it's gonna hard for me to go be like Rod Wilson, but how can I forget Ed Reed? My God, Ed Reed. But right now, playing to me, cause I like footwork, most definitely footwork, hip fluidity, things like that. But Darius Slay. That's my guy right there. J.C. Jackson, they can play man coverage. Denzel Ward. Denzel Ward represents for the guys, I say, my size. You know what I'm saying? And the corners that he does and he represents. Like, I would really hone in on Denzel. Xavier Howard, he's just he's a pickster too. He's a ball hawk and stuff like that. But Jalen Ramsey, he's an all-around corner, but to me, he's probably like not my actual play style, but like nobody plays like him. You know what I mean? So you gotta give it to him. So, but
Very true.
Those are my guys though.
Very true. Yeah. Definitely. I love that you obviously mentioned Darius Slay. I mean, I am quite a big Eagles fan, so I love that. Yeah. He's killing it this year too, so you got to give him some respect.
Definitely.
But hey, I feel his success this season is a perfect indication of how important it is to have a very astute cornerback tandem, because now that he knows that other side's locked down, he's able to do his job and focus on his receiver, which has in turn helped him be a better cornerback on his side of the field. So just another, smart move for Coach O, once again, bringing in your guy Kevin on the other side. So it's going to be very interesting to watch you guys play together once again in 2023.
Most definitely.
What are your three biggest strengths that you bring to the Liberty next season?
I'm going to bring that tenacity, most definitely. That swag and tenacity, that's a fact. That's coming. Definitely a leader, good leader. I was a captain in college too, you know what I'm saying? So definitely a leader. And secondly, just, being an all-around baller. You know what I mean? Doesn't matter how we get it done, we're going to get it done. You know what I mean? So that's just what it is.
Absolutely. Now, with that being said, obviously everybody's got some weaknesses they're trying to work on. I mean, part of being a football player is trying to get better every day. What are some things that you're working on trying to improve for the 2023 season?
Baiting quarterbacks into throwing them into where I want them to throw. You know what I mean? Because I'm so big on the technique and all this, and footwork and things like that, to the point where it's like, okay, after a while they're gonna know that you're pretty well, so they're just gonna ignore you. So it's like, okay, I need to get picks. I don't want to get ignored, so I'm gonna act like he's open. So I feel like I want to just get way better at that, at baiting quarterbacks to throwing me the ball. You know what I'm saying? Because I can go get it.
Definitely. That makes sense. I like that. BS3 Network tuning in. Thank you, Ben. I appreciate that. He says, sup, Sam. Kevin says, stop overthinking and let his talent work for him. I can see that. I can see that. But hey, the mental side of the game is super important too. I mean, I understand that with reps, he's going to get to the point where it's just second nature, but that just means he's got, that much more room to grow, even though he's this much of a baller at this point in his career. So, I mean, I definitely think that, yes, there's room to improve, but you've got a really high floor too. So, I mean, it's not like you're working without tools for the 2023 season.
Yeah.
So, what areas do you ultimately look to improve on and off the field to ultimately reach your goal of one day playing outdoors?
On and off the field?
Yeah.
Man, and just staying focused. Just staying focused. Yeah, man, staying focused, I feel like, and staying locked in and keeping the eyes on the prize no matter what is what's going to get me over the hump. Because, sometimes surrounding yourself around the right people is important too. Not even sometimes, let me say all the time. Definitely just, like I said, whatever is not going to benefit you for whatever you're trying to go or whatever you're trying to do, you just got to sacrifice and exit out. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like the hardest part a lot of times, especially where I'm at, is just staying focused because it's hard to get distracted. I mean, it's easy to get distracted. Excuse me.
It definitely is. That is very true, especially if you're an athlete. I mean, you got people coming at you from every direction. Hey, can I get this? Can you do this? Can you do that? Whatever it may be. Guys like me asking you to come on podcasts on 8 o'clock or 10 p.m. on a Friday night. But I'm sure you've got more guys asking you to do that as well. With all that being said, I mean, you spoke about being a coach off screen just a couple minutes ago. You coach 6 and 7 year olds, was it?
Yeah.
Very
definitely.
nice. Very nice.
Yeah,
How did that all come about? How did you get involved in that?
So pretty much my son's mother, my stepson, pretty much you could say that he was playing and he wanted to play, and in order for him to play and play for free, I would have to coach. So I coached in order to help him out, and at the same time I wanted him to play, get into the game. So I ended up doing that and really just like, what, it could even make me a better player, and just understand how to talk to people or how to put things together. You know what I mean? So other than that, it was really just, like I said, it was really him and her. And I think you muted me though. Oh yeah. So yeah, but yeah, it was really him and her. So yeah, I ended up coaching because of him so he could play for free. And then now he's doing well. He's playing quarterback and stuff like that. So yeah, so it's definitely a challenge, but in the end, it's definitely gonna be all worth it. So
I would agree. So I'm curious. You said your goal is to make it to the XFL next season. We've seen some interesting takes recently, given the lack of news coming from the XFL. So I'm curious, in your opinion as a player, which league do you think looks more prepared going into their first season? So USFL in 2022 or the XFL in 2023?
Woo! It might be the XFL. I would say the XFL. The USFL wasn't too bad, but I want to say it's the XFL because I just feel like it has a broader opportunity for a lot of individuals, I guess, if you can say. So, but other than that, I mean, we can just pray that they stay, and don't fold. So that's all we can say right now. But,
absolutely. I mean, that's always the overwhelming challenge with spring football leagues when it comes to outdoor spring football. I mean, we've seen the AAF, the original XFL, the MLFB most recently. All these leagues have folded over the years, so definitely awesome to see the opportunities available for players. But as you spoke on, definitely hope to see them last long term. So guys can build on their career. I don't want to necessarily discourage any player, but not every player is going to make it in the NFL. They can only employ so many guys. So having these abilities to go to the USFL and still make a fairly respectable living playing football or the XFL as well. I mean, it's awesome for players to be able to have those other opportunities available to them.
Most definitely. Most definitely.
So I got one more question for you tonight. It's fairly in depth, so feel free to go as detailed as you would like. But you'll be
Okay.
working under a new defensive coordinator in 2023.
Mm-hmm.
If he were to give you a chance to tell him how to best utilize you as a player on defense, what would you tell him? Are you moving around the field? Are you sticking at one position? Do you play inside, outside, maybe even some safety? Or are you just one-on-one with the opposing team's top target every play, not moving at all? That's your focus.
Oh man, that's a hard one because as a DB, I'm not gonna lie, especially in college, I played everywhere, nickel, outside, and safety. So it's like I feel like maybe my best attribute or my best outside and the best contract at corner, but at safety, like I don't know. I just like once I start seeing the field, I'm everywhere. You know what I'm saying? I'm really everywhere. So I mean, and that, I think that's one of the things he wanted to see of me too, as well as just to see how well I could play corner or safety, which one I'll be better at, honestly. But what I do a lot lately, since I've been like just still playing currently around now, I would constantly just focus on a lot of teams, number one, and stick their number one receiver. A lot of times, more than just going playing safety. A lot of times, I feel like I like the man on challenge, but like I said, when you're a good corner, they're only gonna try you but so many times. And if you're guarding the number one, depending on how well they want to feed them, that could be your day, it could be a slow day. So, but uh, if I had to pick, man, I just probably let him tell me where to go. I just probably let him tell me where to go whenever he needs me for the team, honestly, because I could do both pretty well, and I like playing both, honestly. If I want to play one and lock on, we could do that. But then as well as like just being everywhere, if it's just like just being a playmaker in a certain area, because they either attacking it, whether if it's pass, run, reverse, whatever, it don't matter. Like I just be that baller.
Absolutely, that makes sense. Actually, one more question that came to mind just now. If you were to play offense, what position would you play?
Receiver, hands down. I started off as a running back, but like when I was really playing receiver in high school too, nah, receiver is where it's at. Like you can call me Mr. Screen Man. Like I'll take some screens to the house. So
I could
so
see
this
that.
is like yeah. So like receiver is definitely where I would play on offense.
Definitely. And one last question. Can you play in the return game? Is that something
Yeah,
you're comfortable doing?
yeah. I could definitely return. Like I said, I could do it all. I did it all since freshman year of high school. But I mean, I've been running back returns since high school too. Running back running turns in college and in prep school. So I got. So I've been doing it.
Definitely. With that being said, Coach O, if you're listening, get this man some reps on offense, some special teams. I'm just saying, he scored that many times on what, 7 touches? I'm just saying, like, could it really hurt? But with that being said, I'm going to let you go ahead and get out of here and have the rest of your night to yourself. I know it's almost 11 o'clock on your side of the world. It's a little bit earlier on mine, so I'm going to go ahead and let you get out of here. Once again, thank you so much for coming on, man. I appreciate it.
Man, thank you for having me. It's a blessing again, man. Thank you for everybody that was tuning in and watching. Man, I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Anybody who loves me especially. So, but at the end of the day, man, thank you for having me, man. It's a blessing, man. So,
Absolutely. We'll definitely have you back sometime on, maybe during the season or something.
all right, man.
Definitely. Is there anybody you want to shout out before we get out of here? I know you kind of did there, in the early stages, but figure I'd
Yeah,
give you another opportunity.
man, everybody, my family, my teammates, man, my coaches, trainers, everybody, you know who you is, man. I love y'all, man. I appreciate y'all, everything, man.
Absolutely. We got a couple more comments. Sandra says NFL needs him. Lenny says, love you, Bemmy. And Sandra sends a couple hearts. So with that being said, man, have a great rest of your night. I really appreciate you coming on. Oh, one more. Much love, Bemmy, number 413.
Yeah, my man Jamal.
Definitely. Well, once again, man, I really appreciate you coming on. It's been a pleasure learning about your career. You're a baller. I'm looking forward to watching all your games this upcoming season on YouTube. With that being said, if you're a fan of this man here or CAF indoor football, make sure you're checking out all these games this upcoming season. That helps these leagues stay alive. It helps these guys get opportunities and then move up to the next level like they should. I mean, it's really hard to go out there and try to give, NFL, CFL, XFL, USFL teams tryout film, and expect to get signed off that. You need game film. And in order to do that, you have to have leagues like the AWFC, the CIF, the AIFL, the NAL, all these leagues that are moving players up to these leagues. So with that being said, they need our support from everybody. So go out there, make sure you're watching all this guy's games, buy some merchandise from the Liberty. If you can, go check out a game live, go cheer them on. I mean, they need that. So with that being said, support all football, not just indoor, outdoor, all of it. But definitely have a great night, man, and I will catch you later.
All right, man. You too, man. Appreciate you.
So we got a bunch more comments rolling in. We got Taj Hill, King, Gangnam. Can't wait to watch my brothers tear it up this year. More hearts, a tear, and some strong arms there. But with that being said, I appreciate all the support, everybody who tuned in. There's been a ton of people watching, a ton of people commenting. Just shows that this guy does, in fact, have a great support system around him, which is incredibly important when you're an athlete. I mean, there are going to be times that is going to test you, your willpower as a man, your determination, your motivation. And sometimes you're going to feel like nobody wants you. And at times you're going to feel like, the world's working against you. But it's people around you that keep you going, that keep you motivated, that keep you determined. And, so all these people tuning in, watching him, listening to his story, supporting him, it's important. Keep doing it. It really, really helps. Like, I can't tell you how much. And with that being said, I appreciate the indirect support for our channel and the help growing. So if you haven't done so already, hit that like button, comment, subscribe. That helps us grow, which helps us put these athletes on a bigger platform, because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. This platform is by athletes for athletes, and it's for a purpose of trying to put them at a bigger level. So if we can put their story out there and help them get a little bit more attention from leagues that maybe not have looked their way yet, that's the hope. That's what we're trying to do here. So with that being said, hit that like button, subscribe, follow us wherever you're watching, whether it's Twitch, YouTube, Facebook. It means a lot to us, and indirectly it will help these guys out as well. So I'll catch you in the next one. We got a couple different things coming up this weekend. I've got 2 players tomorrow morning. We've got 1 player tomorrow morning and a coach. So tune in tomorrow. Definitely going to have some interesting content coming for you this upcoming weekend. And with that being said, I'll catch you guys tomorrow.